Today we're going to look at 3 examples and some tips and tricks that you can consider using when using curved text, whether it's Instagram posts or book covers or logos. So let's get started. Our first one will just be a fake invite to an engagement party, and we will use the beloved Instagram to communicate to our friends. So we'll throw in a picture here quickly, center it around the diamond. I'm going to press T on my keyboard to apply text, and let's size that text to 80. Let's make it bold, and let's change it to white in color. It's not easy to read right now, but we will add an element later to help emphasize the text a little better. I want to use Montserrat. There we go. So our first letters we need to put in here quickly is want to attend our, and I am going to duplicate this. You can duplicate it by clicking on the top right. Let's drag that down. Double click. Engagement party. And we would need to duplicate that again. Click and drag down. And let's put in a date here. March 15th. So right now we have our text ready to go. Let's just quickly add an element, and this element is going to help. As you can see now, it's the wrong color, but it definitely helps emphasize the text. So we will change this element to something close, and we will dial back the transparency. There we go. We will also position this element backwards. Now you can read the text very nicely. Let's get to the point of this, which is to make the text curved. So we would elect or select the effects on the top, come to the left and select curve. It defaults to a number. I want to draw your attention to some settings that you need to be aware of over here on the left. You have a slider. Now watch the text as I slide it back and forth. You can see that it changes the curvature based on how I use the slider. And also as I'm sliding, this number changes. This number will come in handy shortly. So let's get the curvature that we want just right. So that kind of follows the curvature of the rose petals in the background. Take note, this is a 34, so we will select our next text. We will go to effects on the top. And double click, put in 34. And you can see now it is the same curvature as what's above. But what we will do is maybe play with that curvature a little more, center it, and we will look at curving the March 15th up now, but we're going to slide it so that it curves upward. A good tip to use for curvature is always have a shape in the background that you can use to get the curvature just right, that it doesn't look weird. And there we go. I can make this text a little bigger. If I click on it to edit it, don't worry, it'll go to its proper shape. Let's make that 100. There we go. Here we have our Instagram post ready to send out to our friends. Let's add a bit of sparkle to this quickly, just to finish it off. And we'll dial back the sparkle a little. So that's our first post using curved text. Now let's look at another example where we have a logo. And as you could see, the text is all bunched up on the top and on the bottom. So one option to bear in mind is where you can use a spacing setting to change the letter spacing. As you can see at the moment it's set at 0. So we will click and slide this and expand it, so that's at 217. We'll click on that. Let's type in 217, enter. Now this text is a little too close for my liking, so we'll back it off a little, as well as there. So let's have a look. You could see how we can space it to use up the space here nicely in the blue bar or the blue circle to give you a real nice full effect. The next example we're going to look at is contouring to another shape, and here we will use the same process. Click curve and contour it to the round part of the heart here. Same over here. Again, a tip, that's at 63, so we can start there at 63. We can look at aligning it, and if we want to throw a curved text in at the bottom here as well, let's do the same, curve, but we're going to slide it so that it curves upwards. And there you go. There's our 3 examples of the way you can apply your curved text to different shapes. Shapes would really give you a quick guide as to how much you need to curve your text, and you can always delete these in the end when you're done with them, or leave them in for good effect.